Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party, and my buddy Rhett. Here's a nut for her. It is eight. What is it? 8:45. So I have about 10 minutes, and I am trying to figure something out. Typically we'll work on my ThreeJS project, but I ran into a bug that just like I would have to say that definitely ranks, if not actually at the top, ranks very close to the top of things that have made my life miserable more times than anything else. And this is I think it's called a cyclic 200. I have actually the name of my other videos. So my video names are, oh, wrong one. Let's see, say hello, space and time. This ng0200 circular dependency bug. And this bug has literally, like, I mean the actual, like the first definition in the dictionary, that it literally has made my life miserable more than I don't know if there's anything else in my experience from a personal or like death hasn't had as much of a made my life as miserable as this damn bug, this damn thing that just shows up, and it shows up out of nowhere. Like it literally, like, you will have a branch and it works fine, and then somebody else, let's say you work on a team and there's like 10 other developers and everybody has branches and you're all checking stuff in because you're the last day of your sprint is on Friday, so it's Wednesday, everyone's checking stuff in, it's Thursday, everybody's checking stuff in, suddenly this this error just appears out of nowhere, and it's just an absolute nightmare. And not only that, but it won't actually fail on the build. So then it only happens in runtime. So that means it won't even, like, when someone checks something in and it breaks everything, the none of the CI/CD gates will catch it. So it doesn't. You never find out about it until you pull the latest dev or whatever your main branch is. Until you pull that branch, and then suddenly you have this bug that nobody can explain. And then you could pull your branch and it works fine. You pull everybody else's branch, nobody has this bug, and then you pull the main branch, and now you have this bug, and it's such a pain in the butt. So so anytime I've ever had to deal with it, it's always been in a very, very under massive duress. And so, you know, when I saw this time, for some reason, I actually have seen this, I think, a couple times in in the past, and in this project, but I just sort of blew it off. But this last time, I was just like, okay, I have to figure this out. I cannot. Um, Man, that is weird. OKLCH? What the heck is that? So I don't know what this is. OKLCH. OKLCH. Huh. I would imagine the CH is for channel. Yeah, this is bizarre. This is very interesting to me. But anyways, this is 0ng0200 cyclic circular dependency error issue experiment. So anyways, I saw this thing kind of start to appear, and I was just like, man, I don't understand what's going on, but I want to figure it out. And one thing I did notice that would why it would what would cause it to show up, this bug to show up, is when I had two for root services that that imported each other, that seemed to call, and that does make sense, right? So it does make sense that that might cause a very strange. It should be okay, right? There shouldn't be an issue as far as I could think of why you shouldn't be able to do for root two services of any kind. Singleton services should be able to use each other because like it's silly, it's weird. But anyways, I want to create two services. So basically, I can't remember exactly how to do that, but ng srv1. And I know I like to use um, the CLI to create my services, even though there really isn't much to a service. ng, and then I think it's gs for service, and then the name of the service. I think that's how you do it. And it's like serve one. So this is our first service. So let's see if that works. So what I'm expecting to do is see a service in my app. I believe that's, oh, looks like we're throwing some sort of warning here. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. I'm going to hold the control button down and press on this. And let's just go ahead and get rid of this. And now that's gone. I think if you use it, that warning will go away, but we don't need that. Things are going to be confusing enough in this as already. All right, so let's go ahead and add this. We created a new terminal. So the old terminal is still there, but we're going to create a new terminal. And I'm going to type in npm run in the name of the script that I just created. So our v1. I don't know anyone else who does this, but I do it this way. So basically as a history. So I can remember how I did this, because I work on a lot of different projects. So I'm expecting to see I should have committed this so that we don't have, let's see, commit. Okay, so we have our new service. So we see our two new services. It added a unit test and a regular thing. So now I'm going to say npm run or npm commit and removed. This doesn't even matter because this is just for our clarification. Removed default. Okay, so that's all we did on that. So now we can kind of see what our new. Oh, it's not npm, it's git. All right, so now that's kind of like off the radar. So basically, here's our new service. It is provided in root. And then what we want to do, and its name is srv1. So let's go ahead and create a second one called srv2. Let's look at it in this view. Let's close our others. srv2. I'm hungry this morning. I'm not usually hungry in the morning, but this morning I am. And then npm. It's so cold outside though. So I'm going to run the new one. And what I expect to see, this is our Git view in Git lens. I think it's Git lens. I don't know. Source control view. So now we see we have two new services. If we look over here, we see that in green that we have these two new services, service 1 and service 2. So let's hit our F12. And everything is good. Everything is happy. So the theory is that if I import service, I think I could import service 2 into service 1, and that's fine. So okay, so we definitely want to get the injector. I kind of inject. Okay, so inject, and then import. I think it's what the name other one is this one is SVR2, so SRV2. This one was it from let's see, doop, and then dot dash or dash. I don't do this very often. Oh, there we go. Server 2. All right, so now we have our serve 2 imported here. We want to do basically the same thing, but for service 1, and we just want to double check that. No, I don't think anything will be broken yet, but it wouldn't completely shock me if it was one from service 1. So basically, all we've done is told it to import it. I think it will actually even ignore that. I don't think it'll actually import it in the final code. So then, and another thing is that, like, a lot of times these things are like they don't break until you restart. So let's just do that. I don't think I've seen that issue since about Angular 8, Angular 9. Used to be just absolutely like just one of the worst things in the world is you could sit there and you could just be coding away, just happy as could be, and then find out that like, oh, a long time ago, like an hour or 2 hours ago, you made some change that breaks, but only when you restart the server. That is a pain in the butt, because then trying to figure out, okay, what did I do that broke it is a problem. So anyways, we'll wait for that to restart, but in the meantime, I'm going to use my inject. I'm going to create a service 1. SRV1 colon SRV1 equals inject SRV1. Okay, so nothing was, so it restarted. We don't have any issues. I don't think we'll have any issues here either. Now, I think there's a very good chance that we'll have an issue after my next move. And then, so I'm going to come over here into service 1. I mean, into service 1, yeah, and inject SRV2. I don't even know if this is going to cause the problem. I think it will. I was super confident, like absolutely convinced that it would cause this problem. Like right now, this would break it until right now. Now I'm like, I'm not sure. So it is kind of crazy how, like, once you're actually held to the fire, how your confidence level just sort of collapses. Okay, so you see. Okay, let's change this. So nothing broke. I thought it would be broken right now because I've injected these two things into each other. So I think that absolutely proves my theory that this, like, just injecting two things, because it was failing on the injector, right? It was like throwing an error on the injector, but now I'm not seeing the problem. So the next thing is just to double check that we actually have experiments. Oh man, I gotta go. Okay, so that is that. So that did not break it. So the next step will be to inject them into here. Let's get rid of this one. I'm just so close, but I really need to go. Let's see. Let's see. SRV1 colon SRV1 equals inject SRV1. And then it's really going to make me sad if this doesn't break right here, because then I have no idea what in the world is causing that bug in my other project. Okay, so it's so funny because it brought it in for that one, but not for this one. Boom. That is it. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. I got to go. Have a wonderful day. This is definitely the cause. So now we got to try to find a solution. Bye.